Welcome back, my name is Olive. So this class is going to be a whole body mobility and stretch sequence. In terms of equipment, all you are going to need is a yoga block if you have one, or you can grab a long or chunky book. Option as well, if you have a lightweight like a kettlebell or a dumbbell, please feel free to grab it. And a pillow as well for the knees if we come to some kneeling positions and you want some extra cushioning. But yeah, this class is available and suitable for everyone, and I will see you kneeling down or in a seated position on your mat. We're going to start kneeling down, or you can find a comfortable seat using a block in a cross-legged position if you want to. We're going to start by just sort of working into some of our major joints. So we'll take our hands out by our side, roll your shoulders back and down so they're sitting in a nice neutral position in the sockets. Try to keep ears over hips and shoulders. And we're just going to work into our neck, so try find stillness in the rest of the body. When you're ready, you're going to drop your chin down to your chest, only going as deep as you would like to go. And then you're going to take your head and look across to the right hand, relax the left shoulder. Then take right ear, right shoulder, gazing forwards ever so slightly, breathing. When you're ready, circle the head behind you, take your left ear to your left shoulder, keep the right side relaxed. Then look down at the left hand. Chin comes back to your chest. And then looking all the way forwards. We'll go one more time with the opposite direction. So again, chin drops down. Look across to your left hand, keep the right side relaxed. Taking left ear, left shoulder, gazing forwards. Circle the head behind, right ear, right shoulder, again eyes in front. Look down to your right hand, chin comes back to your chest, and then looking forwards again. Give the fingers a little wriggle, give the shoulders a little shake, give them a little bit of a move. Okay, so we're going to come into the thoracic section of our spine. So from here down to here, we're just going to try and mobilize this area. So think about keeping everything in the rest of your body nice and still. You're going to prop yourself up into a kneeling position. Feel free to put a pillow underneath the knees. You want your hips stacked over, and we want some engagement into the glutes and into the abdominals, just so again we have a nice solid foundation. I'm going to start by taking the hands down to the thighs. So this is lateral flexion. Think about again moving mainly from the thoracic section of your spine. Your head will move as a byproduct. So you're just going to slowly lean towards the right, back up through center, and then lean to the left. So again, start by making and keeping the movement small, get control over it. And when you feel like you have that control, maybe you make the movement deeper, you start to access greater range of motion. But again, we're still warming up, so just see how you feel. Try to keep the hips still as you move side to side. Let's go one more each side. And then all the way back through center. You're going to take your hands across your chest. Now, so we're going to bring in more movement for the whole of the thoracic spine. So we're going to start by coming into flexion. Think about drawing your rib cage to your hips, rounding forwards. Then you're going to twist towards the right hand side, bring your left shoulder in front. Now lateral flexion again, you're going to bend to the right hand side. So you're now facing frontal. You're going to take it behind you, come into extension, so the chest is up towards the sky. Then you're going to again bend to the left, lateral flexion. Rotate to the left, right shoulder forwards. Before rounding in front of you, flexion, before lifting all the way upwards. We'll go one more time, so rounding forwards, rib cage to the hips. This time twist to the left, right shoulder forwards. Bending to the left when you're ready. Circling behind you, lifting the chest, squeezing the butt, making sure we're nice and steady. Bending to the right, twisting to the right, left shoulder forwards, and then round down in front of you before coming all the way upwards, and release, have a little shake. Beautiful. We're going to come forwards now into our tabletop position, stacking the shoulders over the wrists, the hips over the knees, and maybe tuck the toes for this. So lightly bracing into the core, just trying to move into one hip at a time. So we'll start with the right hip. You're going to lift the right knee and the toes off the floor, maybe bring the toes into a point. First, we're going to start to draw that right knee forwards to the wrist as much as we feel comfortable with, so flexion of the hip. And we're going to abduct it out towards the side, like imagine a dog peeing on a fire hydrant. Then we're going to do like a little scoop. So as the knee drops, the foot comes forwards, and we scoop the knee, the foot behind us, coming into hip extension. And then again, forwards to the wrist, out to the side, scoop it round all the way behind, and then we'll start it and do it one more time. Forwards, out to the side, scoop it, bring it round, slowly reset, let that knee come down. Okay, beautiful. I'm going to turn front on, and we'll do it on the left side. So when you're ready, push through the hands, lift the right knee and toes off the ground, forwards first, out to the side. Keep the movement small, scoop it round, bring it to the back. Try keep the hips still. And again, forwards, hip flexion, out to the side, abduction, scoop it round to the back, hip extension. One more time, forwards, keep pushing through the hands, out to the side, scoop it all the way round, and then bring it back down and reset. Beautiful. Come back to your seated position. Before we come into our first major drill, I just wanted to introduce a little bit of nerve work, which is quite interesting to work with. Very different sensation to working with your muscles and your joints. So in particular, we're going to look at the ulnar meridian nerve. They start in our cervical spine vertebrae, and they sort of travel down the arm into our fingertips. So like bicep, forearm, fingers, and they end up in different regions. So bring yourself to a neutral spine. You're going to extend the right hand directly above your head. Now turn your fingertips away from you, so palm is shining up to the sky. And then you're going to lower wrist, elbow, shoulder, all in one nice long line. Give the fingers a little wriggle, because already I'm starting to feel like a buzzing and a tingling up my bicep, my forearm, so you might as well. And then you're going to reset and turn the fingertips facing upwards. So as you drop your fingertips down to the ground, you're going to turn the head to the right side. Then as you lift the fingertips up, you're going to turn the head to the left. And just do this a couple more times. So fingertips down, head to the right, fingertips up, head to the left. So last 2 times, nice and slow, just observe how those nerves are sort of talking to you with the sensations it's creating in the body. And then back through center, release the right hand, take your left hand behind your head, chin slowly drops down to the chest. Just so we can maybe encourage the vertebrae in our cervical spine to sort of open a little bit, give more room to the nerves. And then slowly come back up, reaching left hand up, turn the fingertips away, bring everything nice and level with the shoulder, fingers a little bit of a wriggle. And again, when you're ready, turn the fingertips up. As you drop them down, take the head to the left. As you lift up, head goes over to the right. And again, this side might feel totally different, that's fine. We're just going to breathe. Beautiful. Let's go one more time. And then release, take the right hand behind your head, chin slowly draws to your chest. And then slowly coming back up and shake yourself out. Okay, lovely. Let's come into some of the drills. So we're going to come to a standing position. Our first drill is called a death march. Sounds super dramatic, but it's a way to really switch on our posterior chain, so from our glutes, hamstrings, calves down to our heels. So you're going to start at the back of your mat in a nice upright standing position. Then you're going to step the right foot just in front of the left and keep the toes off the ground. As you bend your knees, you hinge at your hips, you send them behind you. You're going to drive this heel down into the ground and sweep the arms down and lift back up. Then step with the left foot forwards, toes off the ground, bend the knees, hinge the hips, and sweep. And we'll just do that going up to the top of our mat, just trying to gain some feedback in that posterior chain. Breathing as we do. Try to keep it even on both sides. When you get to the top of the mat, you're going to swap and turn around, and we'll do it back again. Again, keeping the heel planted, nice and grounded. Try to really press down. Breathing as you do, take it nice and slow. Legs bend as much as they need to. Cool. So we're going to do it one more time, well, up and down. This time we're going to change it up. Instead of having the toes lifted off, we're actually going to plant the foot down completely. It sort of changes up the sensation and where you feel it more. When the foot is planted, it's more into the glutes. It's a little bit more glute dominant. So right foot in front, plant the toes, bend and hinge and sweep. And again, plant the foot, hinge, bend and sweep. The more you start to engage through the whole foot, the greater the sensation is. The big toe is connected to the glutes through some kinetic chains. So the more you press your big toe into the ground, the greater you'll feel it into your glutes in terms of stability. Let's turn around and do it one more time. Don't need to rush it. And if you ever wanted to make this drill harder, you just add weights into your hand and make it weighted, add some more resistance to it. But yeah, I really enjoy doing this one, particularly if I've been sitting for long periods of time. Cool. And then when you're done, come back to the middle of your mat, give your legs a little bit of a shake. We'll now come into a little bit of a side bend. So, planting the right foot to the floor, you're going to cross the left leg in front. It doesn't matter if they are next to each other or there's a little bit more of a gap between them, wherever you feel more balanced. Right hand goes onto your left hip. Inhale, take your left hand high above your head. And then exhale, you're going to bend and lean towards the right side. Lean as much as you are comfortable with. You can push your hips further away from you, or you can stay more upright. Just try breathe into the left side of the body, ground down through the legs. One more breath here. Then inhale, coming up, we'll swap the legs over. So right foot goes in front, left hand to the right hip. Inhale to lift the right hand up. And exhale, slowly start to lean to the left side. Again, ground down through the legs. See how deeply you want to go in this side bend. Breathe to the right side. Then again, inhale, coming all the way back up. Release the legs and give them a little bit of a shake. Okay, beautiful. So we're going to come down into a kneeling position. And we're going to explore something called halos. Now you can do this either with your yoga block, or you can do it with a light kettlebell or dumbbell, whatever you have access to, or a book or a water bottle. Abundance of choice. Okay, so we're going to step that right foot in front of us. The left knee is going to be directly underneath the left hip. So we want to have engagement and support into our hips, our pelvis. They want to be level with one another. So we're trying to avoid any kind of twisting movement. Think about drawing the right leg back and the left leg forward, so we meet them in the middle. Cool. So from here, either taking your weighted object or the book or whatever it is, nice and engaged, core is lightly braced. We're going to start to just set the shoulders into neutral. And then with the right leg forwards, we're going to start to take the block over our head, creating like this halo shape in a clockwise direction. So we go nice and slowly. We start to work out how the shoulders are feeling, where we've got access, where we've got range. Nice and still into the legs. Breathing here. Now, after a couple of these, if you feel relatively warmed up and you want to add a little bit extra spice, you can lift the back knee off the floor about an inch to get more feedback into the legs. See whatever you're comfortable with. We'll go one more halo. Then slowly bring it, and you're going to swap legs over. So, hopefully there's a lot of feedback coming through to the legs if we were sort of engaging nice and correctly. I'm going to do the next one with a weight, so feel free if you would like to either stick with the weight or stick with a block, totally up to you. But again, think about driving front leg back, back leg forwards so they meet in the middle. So this time with the left leg in front, we're going to go in an anti-clockwise direction. When you're ready, engaging, slowly, slowly finding these circular movements. Taking your time, remembering to breathe, push the big toe into the ground. And if you wanted to, maybe lift up the back knee about an inch or so to gain some more feedback to the hip flexors. One more halo. And slowly bring it forwards. And you can pop it down to the side. We're going to match the knees together. Untuck the toes, sit back down onto the heels. So reclined hero as our nice little stretch. I will give options, so fingertips behind you or flat hands. You're going to squeeze your shoulder blades together. Start to lift the back away from the arms, maybe tilting the head behind you if it feels good. If you wanted to stay here, cool. Or you can start to lift your bum away from the heels so you feel it deeper into your quads, into your hip flexors. Also feel free to tuck the toes in this movement as well if it doesn't feel comfortable to have them pointed. Okay, let's go one more breath here. And then chin slowly comes back to the chest and we bring ourselves all the way upwards. Okay, lovely. We're going to come into some gait movements now. So, from your tabletop position, again, take a pillow underneath your knee. You're going to extend your right leg out towards the side. Now with this, we want to try have the arch off the right foot in line with the left knee. You might need to shuffle your hands so you feel a little bit more like central. Okay, so I apologize this about in advance. It's a really, really tricky move, but it's a really, really lovely one to really fire up into the glutes, into the adductors, into the abductors. So you're going to push into your hands as much as you can, and then try squeeze and engage into the right leg and see if you can lift the right foot off the floor. Only a couple of inches. We don't want to try lift it as high as the hip. So push into the hands, lift the leg, slowly bring it back down. If it's finding it hard to move, what you can do instead is take a tabletop position and instead come into this abduction movement. But again, being mindful that we're not lifting too high. So when you're ready, let's do 5 together on each leg. So when you're ready, lifting and slowly down. For 2 and down. Push into both hands. 3, back down. For 4, last one, and release. Okay, beautiful. Let's swap over. So again, whether you want to stay in your tabletop stance or you want to challenge and see what it feels like on this side with the leg extended in the gate position. Just check arch of the foot is in line with the knee. We feel sort of balance in the shoulders. 5 on this side as well. When you're ready, lifting for 1, down. For 2, slowly down. Think about using the core as well to assist with the lift. For 4, last one, and slowly back down. Beautiful. Okay, so bring the legs so back into our tabletop position. Extend the right leg out to the side this time. This time, a little bit more of the stretching sort of sequence. You're just going to start to pulse and rock backwards and forwards. Now again, feel free to change up what it's doing in the legs. If you want to, as you push your hips back, you can peel and lift the toes away from the ground as well. It might just feel a little bit stronger into the inner thigh, into the adductors. So see how you feel. Do one of these rocks and then coming back. Okay, so the open and the fold. You're going to push through the left hand. Inhale, open the right hand, the right chest towards the right side, reaching up as high as you want to go. And then on your exhale, you're going to bring your right hand behind your left wrist. Bend the left elbow so you can take your right shoulder down to the floor. And again, inhale to open. Exhale, slowly coming down. Okay, inhale, opening. Exhale, coming back down, but this time we're just going to stay here for a little bit longer than a breath. So feel free to change up the position of the left hand. You can wrap it around your back. You can reach it above your head, or you can keep it planted to the floor. Whatever feels good. One more breath here. And then slowly, slowly coming all the way back. Plant the right hand, we'll swap the legs over. Right knee to tabletop, left leg extends out to the side, and we'll start with this pulsing movement backwards and forwards again. See how this side starts to respond. Maybe we peel and lift the toes off if that feels good. Okie dokie. And then when you're ready, one more. Take your time, come all the way back, pushing through the left hand. No, we're pushing through the right hand this time. We're going to inhale to open the left hand all the way up. And then exhale, threadle it through the right arm, come down to left shoulder. Inhale again, opening through the left side. Exhale, coming all the way down. One more time, inhale, opening. Exhale, coming all the way down. Now pausing, holding here. If you want to take the right hand again to a different position, maybe around your back, maybe above your head, go for it. But we're lightly pressing through the left hand, having engagement into our hips, into the legs as well. You might feel a little bit of a deeper stretch down to the inside of the left thigh. When you're ready, slowly push through the hands, coming back into your tabletop position, bringing that left knee into your chest. And then from here, we're going to swivel those legs round to the front and just give them a little bit of a shake out. Okay, lovely. So from here, the next move that we're going to just drill and play around with, we're going to play with reverse tabletop into a really deep sort of core compression. This is a really lovely one to just fire up the muscles into the upper back, test out our shoulder joint work and mobility and stability, and this idea of like really tapping into the deeper parts of the core. So we're going to plant the feet about hip distance apart, taking the hands behind us, fingertips facing forwards. You can do it with your fingertips facing out to the side or behind. But I find, for me personally, I enjoy it the most when my fingertips face forwards. So you're going to start to squeeze your shoulder blades together, push through the feet, and find a lift where you're drawing your hips level with your knees, bracing lightly through the core. Okay. And then from here, you slowly start to let the bum come back down to the ground, but keep it hovering off the floor. You're going to lift your toes off the ground and start to push your hips back towards your arms, seeing if you can keep the bum off the floor, drawing your core nice and tight. Don't worry if your bum lands, or maybe you might be able to take the bum through the hands. And then again, we come through to tabletop, squeezing and activating through the muscles in the upper back. Let the bum come down, lift the toes, slowly, slowly draw the hips behind you. See if you can keep pushing them off the ground, or we go through. We'll just do 3 more. Lift up, reverse tabletop, slowly lower, come to whatever position feels best. And again, reverse tabletop. Now that feels like the nicer one. And slowly hips down, press back. Last one, lift in. And slowly push back, see how far you want to go. And then release down. Roll through the wrists, give them a little shake out, give the legs a shake too. Okay, we're going to take a straddle position here. So we want to aim for about 90 degrees between our legs. Feel free to sit on your pillow, on your block. This isn't the most comfortable pose for everyone, so we're going to change up and make it slightly different. With the hands, start with them in between the legs. Then you're just going to walk them away as far as you are comfortable with. When you find yourself getting to a sticking point, you're just going to stay there. You're going to breathe nice and consistently. Then all you're going to do is this like light pulsing movement where you might go a little bit deeper and then you push away and come out of it. So the technical term for this kind of stretching is called ballistic stretches. Sounds really intense, so we're sort of taking the intensity out of it a little bit and just making it more controlled, listening to our body a little bit more, seeing how it feels as we experiment by going deeper in a range and then pushing back out as well. And then just for a couple of breaths, see if you do want to go deeper and just hold the pose. It doesn't matter if we are higher up here as well. We breathe down the spine. We keep that nervous system relaxed. One more breath here. And then slowly walk the hands in, and we're going to bring the legs in, and we're going to come down onto our bellies, onto our front. So before we do, grab your book or grab your block, whatever object it is where you can just hold in between the hands, because we will use that for some overhead movement into the shoulders, into the scapula. So lying down on your belly, you're going to bring yourself into a neutral position. So what that means, you're going to tuck the toes, try press the hips to the ground, and your forehead will be down to the floor in a second. So you're going to hold your object between your palms and allow your shoulders to come up to your ears. So you're really allowing this elevation of the scapula. And you're going to hold the object, press the forehead to the ground, and then you're going to try lift the hand and the elbow off the ground as high as you can go. And we're going to do this 10 times just to see if we can switch on everything in the upper back and develop some overhead mobility. So pressing the forehead, squeezing the butt when you're ready, lifting for 1, and slowly down. For 2, and down. Take your time to work yourself up to 10. Try go nice and slowly. I'm still going. Try to again recruit the muscles off the upper back. You might feel fatigue into a certain area. That just might mean it's stronger. Okay, last 2. Last 1. And then release. Make a pillow with your hands, rocking your hips side to side. This is a very, very difficult movement, because you're really limiting it into just the muscles up the upper back. So please don't stress if the object you're lifting didn't go that high. So into our nice juicy stretch, you're going to push back up into tabletop. Walk the hands away from you ever so slightly. Keep the hips nice and high, and you're slowly going to come down into puppy pose. So allowing your chest to go down towards the floor. Feel free to take your forehead onto your block or a pillow if you prefer, or it can stay floating off the ground. But as you come into the stretch, try to press your hands into the ground so you feel it a little bit stronger, into the lats, into your armpits, into your pecs. Beautiful. Let's go for one more breath here. And then slowly, slowly pressing yourself all the way back up, right? Okay, lovely. So last 2 drills, we're going to do one called Lizard 90s, where we will be back down on our front, and then we're going to roll onto our back and do dead bugs. So come back down onto your belly. You're going to take your hands underneath and just behind the shoulders. So you're actually super active into your upper back, despite the majority of the movement coming from the lower body. So you're going to try to squeeze your shoulder blades together, push through the hands, little lift off the chest away from the floor. Tuck your left toes, press into the ground. You're going to start by lifting the right foot directly above the right knee. Have a little look, see where it is. Push through the hands, lift the right knee off the floor. Take it out towards the side and see if you can bring it up and plant it down next to the right wrist. Don't worry if you need to lift the chest higher away. And again, you push into the hands, squeeze the glutes, and reverse and bring it all the way behind you again. So we'll do that 4 more times. Lift, bring it up to the front, let it land. Then lift and send it back. So again, number 3, taking your time, push through the hands. You might feel some more engagement coming to your obliques. 4. Slowly send it back. This is meant to feel hard. Last one. And then take your time, send it behind you. Beautiful. Take a moment, pillow with your hands, let your hips rock side to side. So this work always feels hard when it's just one area that we're really isolating and working into. Okay, let's go left side. Hands underneath the shoulders, squeeze shoulder blades together, tuck the right toes, push into the ground, lift the left knee. or the left foot. When you're ready, lift, bring it up, plant it down. Reset, lift, send it behind you for 1. 4 more, take your time, bring it forwards, and then set it back. Number 3, don't worry how close you bring the knee to the wrist. Just work within your own capacity. We'll go for 4, and back, and last one. And slowly send it behind. Lovely. Pillow with your hands, rock your hips side to side. Then you're going to roll over onto your back, and we'll come into a lying figure 4. So you're going to plant your left foot down to the ground. Take your right leg, and you're going to cross the right ankle above the left knee, and just slowly let the right knee pulse away from you, and then draw it back in. So it's just playing around with internal and external rotation. You're keeping your back though in contact with the ground. And then if you would like to, find stillness, lift the left foot off the ground, interlace the hands behind the left thigh. And maybe you're still in this lying figure 4, or maybe you rock gently side to side. Whatever feels good. Beautiful. Okie dokie. Let's swap the legs over. So right foot to the ground, take the left ankle across and above the right knee, and I'll just start with this pulsing movement off the left knee, moving away from us, and then drawing back in. Lovely. And when you're ready, stillness, lifting the right foot off the floor, interlace the hands. Maybe we're still, maybe we rock, maybe we draw legs in closer to us. Okay. And when you're ready, slowly releasing, planting the feet back down to the ground. Okay, so last drill, it's called dead bug. Beautiful one for coordination, as well as the deeper layers of the core. So for this, just take a moment, take your hands, and just check if there is any distance between your back and the ground. Everyone's natural curve will be slightly different. Regardless of the space between, we want to try and maintain that throughout the whole movement. So I have a fairly big gap between the lower portion of my spine and the ground, so I'm going to try and maintain it. So we want to find a bracing of the core. So you think about drawing your belly button in and then really engaging and pressing it back out as if you're pressing your stomach against like a waistband. Or the other way, I like to say, is imagine you're about to get punched in the stomach and you really tense up. So trying to brace through the core. Okay, your hands are going to go directly above your shoulders, palms facing up to the sky. And you're going to lift your knees above your hips, and your feet are going to be pressing into an imaginary wall. So essentially tabletop, but on our back. Okay, so keeping the core braced, you're going to start to take the left hand directly above the head, coming close to the ground, and as you do, extending the right leg down towards the ground, but they're all going to hover off the floor. Only go as low as you're comfortable with, and slowly bring them back to the middle, and then we'll swap sides. So right hand, left leg, extend, they hover off the floor. Back through center. Left hand, right leg. Slowly back. Remember to try breathe, right hand, left leg. And do 10 in total. Slowly back. Okay, left arm, right leg. Take your time, draw it back nice and slow. Right hand, left leg. Take your time, moving back. Don't worry if you're shaking. Okay, breathing. Left hand, right leg. Slowly back. Right hand, left leg. Slowly back. We'll do one more each side. Last one. Right hand, left leg. And slowly back. Beautiful. Come to hug your knees to your chest. Let yourself slowly rock side to side. And our final stretch, whatever you fancy, you can either do a supine twist, where you take both knees down towards the right side and your left arm extends away first. I roll Q for the other side. Or you can come into happy baby, where you lift your feet up to the sky, you bring your knees into your chest, and you're either rocking side to side, or you're in a little bit of stillness. whatever feels good. Beautiful. So if you're in the supine twist, slowly come back to center and then take the knees down to the other side, to the left side, with the right arm extending away from you. Just like to give options with that because not everyone's comfortable with happy baby. And then twist always feels really good too. Okay, so wherever you are, you're going to take your time to come back to holding your knees into your chest, rocking up and down 2 or 3 times. Just bring as much momentum as you can. You're going to bring yourself, when you're ready, into your comfortable seat one last time. And we're actually just going to finish off with a little bit of breath work because we want to again try to keep that nervous system regulated. So this one is a traditional pranayama exercise. It's taken from the yoga tradition and it's called Nadi Shodhana, so it means alternate nostril breathing. It's a beautiful way to balance out both energies of yin yang, masculine, feminine, and just sort of as well, if you want to take it there, into both hemispheres of the brain. So you're going to take either your right or your left hand, close down the 3 middle fingers. You're going to start by blocking off your left nostril, so my pinky's going to. Then we inhale through the right, and then we exhale out of the left, so close the right nostril. Then we inhale through the left, and exhale out of the right. And again, I'll guide it one more time. Inhale right, exhale left, inhale left, exhale right. So you're just going to keep that going at your own pace, just for another couple of rounds. You can close down your eyes if it feels good. And you might find that your exhales are super long. There's a lot more to give with them. And again, it's a really lovely breath or pranayama technique to practice because it helps sort of calm down that nervous system when you focus on deeper breaths. Your nervous system enters more into the parasympathetic, so the rest and recover state. Slower heart rate, slower breath. It's a nice one, like I said, to find balance between the 2 energies of masculine and feminine, or yang and yin, because it works with the left and the right side of the brain, the different energy channels in your brain. Let's just go for one more round, wherever you are. So come back to normal breathing after you exhale out of the right nostril. Releasing the hands, coming back to normal breath. Obviously, you're welcome to continue this for longer if you want. And then when you're ready, rubbing the hands together, build up some heat. Take hands over your eyes and come back to your room when you're ready. So thank you for practicing along with me. I really hope you enjoyed and you found some goodness in your body and the movements that we did today. If you have any suggestions for future videos, do let me know and I'll make sure to create them for you guys. But until then, have a good one and I'll see you next time.